Yar.
Saw.
I was muted for all that. I had a bunch of hollowbacks for you there, Hash, when you were doing that. What a bummer.
Yeah, I didn't hear a bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame and a sham.
Shim sham, flim flam, man.
Flim sham.
So are we expecting anybody else?
Joe's going to pop in, depending on his attitude about the game. And Yeti confirmed he was headed to the shower.
Okay, so probably not Yikes. Didn't sound like Coley, and definitely not Justin. So maybe Bo. That would be.
Yeah, he hit me up on. He responded at least to my announcement, y'all. And meow.
Yeah, I wanted to get him in for trivia night, honestly, but I didn't think of it until it was far.
Single greatest
far
background of all time. I don't care what you guys say.
I need a mic volume. All right. Why is it so touchy? Jesus Christ.
Well, you touch it. You touch it too much.
Yeah, quit touching it.
Quit touching it.
That's why it looks like that.
Shame.
I'm gonna
Game of Thrones shame bell.
I'm gonna follow the drink with Ron formula of pissing off our guest right off the bat by demanding something from them they don't want to provide.
Yeah, that's the key.
I would like accountability, sir. Now.
Service the account. Service it.
I'm a paying customer, and I heard the customer is always correct.
Maintain eye contact while you service the account.
Now mitigate my anger, please.
Well, I was tempted to change the dog over under because there's a second Ted in the house tonight. So
What?
yeah,
That's
we have
squared, huh?
we have 3 dogs now. So I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it at 1.5 though.
Is that going to be a full-time thing, or is this a house dog sitting sort of conundrum?
Yeah, apparently she said we would watch this dog before we had a second dog. Because I said, why the hell would you agree to watch this dog when we have so much going on? So, yeah, we didn't have him at the time.
Fair.
Yeah.
Dogs. Dags. Dogs.
Dinks.
Dinks with Ron.
It was a 35-yard completion. What's that get me?
Completion to Jefferson?
Yeah.
Jefferson Airplane.
Skyship. Starship.
Jefferson Starship.
Spaceship.
Which then just became Starship.
We built this city on rock and roll.
What an evolution for that band.
Yeah.
Start off with White Rabbit and wind up with We Built This City. Fucking shoulder pads.
Yeah, that really makes no sense when you think about it. That's a huge...
What an evolution.
I mean, that's like as big of an evolution, I'd say, as like the Beatles. Going from, like the rocky rock of like the 50s shit all the way into like number 9 on the White Album. Just like full on acid.
Well, that'd be great to ask our man Yeti upon his appearance. Mm-hmm. Greater transformation: Beatles to the White, from the beginning to the White Album, or Jefferson Airplane?
A buddy of mine, we went through. I just took the audio file of number 9 and we put it backwards and cut all the hidden shit. And I still have it floating around on a disc here somewhere. There's some creepy shit in there.
I used to think that the White Album was my favorite Beatles album, and then I went back and listened to it recently, and I was like, nah, it's not anymore.
It's up and down.
It's good. It's got a lot of good songs on it. It's got a lot of filler.
Yeah.
Last time Yeti was here, I asked him to explain to me why his favorite Beatles album wasn't Goathead Soup.
Different note, my boss yesterday saw the Pixies and Modest Mouse.
Oh, wow. I'd see the Pixies. Modest Mouse doesn't do anything for me, but the Pixies are cool.
Modest Mouse had a moment, though. And they're
for sure.
They're from Issaquah, Washington, and so, not too far from Bellingham, not too far from Seattle. So they were a much better... Like, Death Cab for Cutie was always, like, the big Northwest band for a lot of people, but to me, Modest Mouse was way better.
I missed so much of that stuff. I mean, my formative years are so much earlier than y'all's with that sort of stuff that I feel like I'm always playing catch up.
At least you're not playing Kesha, because that's bad music.
Oh. I don't know. You brush your teeth with a bottle of Jack. Because when you go out for the night, you ain't never coming back.
Huh. Well. I am. I have a buddy who went to high school with Kesha.
Oh.
And Little B, if I recall correctly, too. Rap sensation, the based god himself, Lil B.
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Tea time. Everybody agrees.
So my buddy lives right down the street. You asked that Taylor Swift question about the earthquake in Seattle. My buddy lives right down the street from the stadium, like less than a mile away from it, and he felt the shit shaking.
Wow.
Yeah, shit was moving in his apartment.
Crazy.
I found the Facebook or when they compared the seismographs from the Marshawn Lynch thing to the Swiftie thing, and I couldn't find a number on the Richter scale for the Marshawn Lynch, but it was 1/3 the amplitude and frequency of the Swiftie party.
Huh.
Well, the Swiftie thing, like the Marshawn Lynch, it was everyone in the stadium. And the Taylor Swift thing, you had people packing the outside of the stadium, too.
Yeah, it was 500,000 people outside, too.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the thing about it. Is just like the whole fucking Occidental Avenue, I think is the street that goes from what used to be the Kingdom and is now T-Mobile Park to what was Quest Field and is now Lumen Field.
Looking good, yikes. I see you checking yourself out in the mirror.
I'm not really used to looking this way at the moment, but...
Yeah, but they found his
Put
last
together
hiding house. So
straight-laced?
Yeah.
Straight-laced, yeah, totally.
Off to a new jump house.
You know, we had an earthquake in Spokane, Washington the other day.
Yeah, that checks out.
Is everyone trying to get the hell out of there?
2.7 it was read on the Air Force Base. And hear about it anywhere else. So they're probably up to some shit.
Well, out here in the National Laboratory, they had the world's largest non-nuclear explosion, and it was all train cars, and it caused an earthquake.
Wow.
Is that recently?
No. 82, 83?
Yeah.
Right before the Mount Borer quake.
There was a thing that I was reading about where there was some munitions that were on a boat that got ignited and blown up, and it fucked up the Statue of Liberty back in the day.
Yeah. Halifax, Nova Scotia got blown the hell up when that happened once too. The Maritime Museum, we went there back in the spring, and like 5,000 people blew up and died, like vaporized, because the ship caught fire and then went rudderless and crashed into the pier and blew up.
That's insane. 5,000 people is a lot of people, man.
For back in 1921 or something like that. It was tail end of World War I.
Yeah, that's like 7,000 with today's inflation.
In this economy.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Is it just us?
Just now it is. Yeti is on the way. He's had to shower. Post Taekwondo, he had to shower.
Oh.
He doing the Taekwondo or is his kid?
Kids.
Oh, okay. I did Taekwondo as a kid.
Yeah, 'cause that's not the mental picture I initially got. I saw him all
I see Yeti pulling a Kramer out there.
Just beating up little kids.
Black belt in the asses, yeah.
I could beat these guys up. Come on.
I'll take 2 of you. Maybe even 3.
I see him being a good dad and coming into the Taekwondo dojo with the gi on and everything just to drop his kid off. It's like solidarity outfit.
So there was have you guys watched the Pablo show yet?
No. I haven't watched any of it.
It's a TV show? I heard it on the radio.
Yeah, there was the one, I think it was yesterday, about the guy who choked out, or quote unquote, maybe choked out Mark Zuckerberg in jiu-jitsu. Did you hear about that?
No.
It's just interesting because like the guy was totally like down to earth and like super like honest and trustworthy, but he got into jiu-jitsu. Excuse me. There we go already.
A little early for
like
that.
I haven't even had a drink yet. Like I had one drink.
It's a really big one.
But yeah, exactly.
It's a raw.
But he got into the whole thing through his son. Like, and what a funny like gateway into becoming a viral person is that
whooping
like,
Zuckerberg's ass.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because the wife said I had to hang out with the kid more.
He's like, well, I might as well do this, and ends up entering a contest and facing off with Mark Zuckerberg and
Choking about.
joking.
You know,
about
I get excited when I get an extra $25 in the bank account. I can't imagine having $164 billion laying around waiting to do something with.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy concept.
And I am not behind this whole bullshit of blaming the writers for all this nonsense.
Right.
that's
Started with Samson, Drew Barrymore, Bill Maher,
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson's coming back now.
Oh, Kelly
Like,
Clarkson.
Scabs.
You notice the all the through line between all those people?
They got to put the other people back to work.
Well, they're all white.
Well, so are most of the writers, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but I'm just, it's one of those things where white people in power in a country where white people are in power, they love to do this thing where they speak blanketly and blame other people for things that are way bigger problems than they're talking about. I don't know. Bill Maher,
Societal
idiot.
Ills, brought to you by
Barrymore, I
Hash.
always liked, but yeah, that sucks.
So I've got this stupid football game on just in case Joe pops in, right? Because I don't know anything about football, nor do I care.
Yeah,
But it's on Amazon.
yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
I
can watch
look
this.
all through Hulu for an hour and a half looking for it. And I think is this the one that's on Amazon? I don't know.
I think they started doing the Amazon Thursday nights last year.
Yeah,
And
sounds
there's a
right,
Thursday night
yeah.
game every day, every week, all year long, right?
I believe so, and I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
if you took a look at the slate that they had last year, it was literally every week it was the worst game of the week.
Right.
It was
that always how it is, though?
unbelievable.
Usually.
No, not really. I mean, I think that's kind of odd.
Uh-oh.
I thought Thursday nights were reserved for the worst games.
That's what it seems like.
I think that's Europe.
Europe's reserved for
It's
the-
bad, too.
I'm not a peon, you're a peon.
Hey,
Hey,
I gotta urinate.
Hello, everybody.
what's up, Yeti?
Hey,
Hola.
Oh, dude, yikes. I think this is the first time we have been on record together or have spoken
God.
outside of messages back and forth on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
were
I
you on
hopped-
the last one?
That's correct.
With me?
No.
No, I wasn't on that one, but I met you through Spaces back during the pandemic.
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah, we did talk then. That's right.
and I can't remember what we were talking.
I think that was the musical episode.
that was
actually.
after the musical. Yep, totally. So
Hashy,
yeah,
good to see you again.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Are those filter glasses? Or have you found the
Guys.
weirdest?
By Elton John's,
You've gotten a haircut since we last talked, then, huh?
Well, I always buzz my hair, so you might have just
Oh, okay.
caught me right in the, I cut it 3 days ago. So
Gotcha.
The man's not sporting the hat like usual. That's
I was
really
just-
what it is.
That's true.
That's
That's
the
true.
big part.
it's
Yeah.
it's too hot right now, so I gotta stay.
It's a sweltering 73 in Portland.
91.
Wow, that is
Ooh,
Yeah.
really?
my last summer out in Seattle. It was 09, and we had it was 10 straight days of 105 plus, and nobody out there has air conditioning because you never need it.
Yep.
Until you do.
Until you do, and then
boy,
it's
howdy.
all bad.
Yeah, that was.
I think around that time, everybody in the Northwest bought one of those window air conditioning units.
You couldn't get them at Costco because they were
Yeah.
constantly sold out. There were lines for
Yep.
them.
Yeah, I think it was
Home
maybe
Depot, too.
the spring after that. Then I think everybody got them, but I remember that was a thing.
That was
So,
such a weird concept for me, moving out there and people not having air conditioning installed in their house. Growing up in North Carolina, you got to have it. And I spent 2 years in Utah, and while they didn't have air conditioners, they got them swamp coolers.
Yeah.
And Troy, that's what they run out in Idaho, right?
We've moved into the middle 80s now and have air conditioners. But yeah, the swamp cooler is still popular.
Yeah, the swamp coolers were. Oh yeah, this would be 23 years ago when I was out there. So
I'm not familiar with that.
yeah, it's a
That's
way
just
of
funny.
kind of cooling the air and humidifying it at the same time. It's like your central air unit, but it's pumping humidity and cool air. At the
It's a wet cool. It's
Yes,
the worst of all the worlds.
Oh, that sounds
Let's
delightful.
just add, because it's not necessarily it's so unnatural. So it's let's just add this, make everything damp.
Yeah.
so
and
Ron, are you saying you've never heard of a swamp cooler?
No, never.
Wow.
Never. I think you guys got together in the group chat and decided to troll me with this made-up item.
You don't have humidity problems or problems with lack of humidity, and you're in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Well, Troy, Ron, good to see y'all again.
Indeed.
Thanks, Yeti, during your victory
Suey
tour.
Award winner, Yeti, please.
Yeah.
We shall lean in hard and heavy. Have no fear.
Cheers to that.
The Suey Awards are given out on the Dan Levitard Show for Best Of in a variety of categories. This year, Yeti Blanc was nominated and won for Best Song for this banger right here.
The sky seems to be falling, and we're all wondering why. Let's turn on the news and find out how we're gonna die.
I've burned up my thumbs voting for that stupid Greg Cody song, and then I had to go switch all those votes to "We're All Gonna Die" based on Yeti's recommendations.
Well, that was the thing, is that I look, I would prefer the song that I put, actual production budget into, producing and getting a producer and paying my buddy to do the. It's like the actually he's the only person from high school named Matthew Kelso. He's the only person from high school that I still talk to that isn't my cousin. And now that was most of my high school.
That took a weird turn.
But look, I had to move to Seattle so I wouldn't, inbreed, and then we did our genealogy, and turns out we're actually 12th cousins. But that upset me quite a bit. But yeah, so I paid him to do that guitar solo, and then I had to pay for actual production on it and everything. But and that one's a fully original song, and so I was like, I would love for this one to win, but you got to kind of play it, go how the polls play, and when you're competing against yourself too. And We're All Gonna Die jumped out to a raging lead, and I was like, okay, cool, let's just put all the efforts behind that.
I voted early enough that I was actually changing the percentages on.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I can do this. We're up to 18%, 19%, 21%. Came back an hour later, is like, oh, looks like it's not going to be that one anymore. It's going to be the other one.
Last year you could see all the metrics, but they changed it up this year. The site that they used, you couldn't see the metrics anymore. But you could get like real breakdowns, like when people voted and things like that. It was kind of neat if you're into, at least mildly into nerdy analytics.
Nerdery.
Ooh, nothing like data analysis to get me going.
I see Humpadink on the screen.
Humperdink, Humperdink,
Humpadink! Humpadink, Humpadink, Humpadink. All right.
Well, as we get ready to start, Hash disappears. So let's filibuster for 16 seconds.
Hash is playing the Greg Cody role right now and just leaving right about the time the mics are supposed to be on.
Yep.
Dino Nuggets?
At least he has his headphones in.
No, I needed another beverage. I had my headphones in the whole time, so
And I actually need one of those too before we start. I'm gonna pull the double Greg Cody here. So,
you people,
we're so proud yet. We've gotten so professional now. We all have earbuds, so we can talk over each other. It's really, really first rate over here at the free OSC podcast.
Ron,
we do
what
have something
are you using, bro?
We do have a question for you before you take off tonight that'll surprise you, since you're a busy man and you don't follow any of us on the Twitters. But you don't just follow us, but you don't see anything, because we have something big coming up in November.
I see what you guys tweet. I don't think I've muted any one of you.
I had to create a list to get stuff to even see these guys. Like, you'd think the people I interact with the most would be in my feed. No. I had to make
because I remember I was caught very off guard when I saw Taylor Swift tweeting, a blonde Taylor Swift tweeting on my timeline. I was like, oh, that's Troy.
Yeah, I was like, damn it, it's a bot.
Troy Swift.
I love how it looks like right now that Humperdink has a dong coming from his shoulder blade right into Hashy's
right into my
oral orifice.
Right into Humperdink.
All right. Well, so what's your surprise-ish question?
Well, it's not a question. It's just a reveal.
Oh, reveal. Okay, cool. And you said it's for November, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We would like you to come be in our parade in New Orleans.
Oh, what are y'all doing? I'll tell you, I'm
having a
not going to be
parade.
able to make it, but I do want to know what you're doing.
Literally a parade.
Are you going to do like a second line parade? You're just going to
Yeah.
build your own second line? That's incredible. I absolutely
thanks
love
to-
that idea.
Shout out to Samo for being the benefactor.
Yes.
One of
Oh,
our four
really?
listeners. Yeah.
Samo's a secret billionaire, isn't he?
Yeah.
And his
He's in
Poconos
that insurance
home.
business, right? And
got
every
his
week
name
he's
in
at an
the
Eagles
Eagles
game, so
games.
you know what that means.
Right. No, so no, I will not be able to make that because I need to be able to save all funds for the potential of there being another Moss Miami this year in December. And we're saving it. Well, we just paid for, or we didn't pay for. We financed 2 new HVAC units lately, so that's 4 times the price of what I paid for my car. I got a good deal on my car, but still, that's why I can tell I'm getting old because I'm rating the cost of things based on other things that I've bought.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
like that's 4 of my cars. With my dad, it was always like mileage, like he was so homesick to go to Florida, where he was raised. But we were in North Carolina. He was raising us in North Carolina. And anytime we'd go, if we went further than Winston-Salem, so about further than an hour, especially if we went to Charlotte, he's like, 2 hours. He's like, may as well just go on down to Florida now. We've driven this far. Why, let's go home. Let me go see mom and, or my grandma, and I mean, half the time I was like, let's do it. Cause I loved going down to see all my cousins. But yeah, so I am now judging things in the price of according to the price of other things. That's how.
Yes,
Yeah,
welcome.
no, I'm
welcome.
good.
Hang in there. It gets worse.
Yeah, I'm sure. But no, so we got to pay for that. And then my daughter made the elite choir at school. Woo!
Oh,
Yes.
So we
yeah.
gotta pay for a Disney trip.
Oh.
Nice.
So
Make sure you put that fundraiser out there in the world for those of us who follow you, so we can get your Northwest / Pacific Northwest / Inland West people supporting it.
so far so good. We're in good shape right now.
But before we get on to this Yeti Fest that we're going to have later about Suey's and talent and production and
do you
cool
have a product
dude,
complaint?
I have a product complaint. I'd like to talk to the manager.
I'm very upset by this.
I've had my Yeti cup for almost 2 years, and this Yeti cup is great. This Yeti cup fell apart and broke into many
Yeti
pieces.
Cup stayed home. This Yeti
And
Cup went. Wee,
they've
wee,
both
wee,
been
all the way home.
shunted from the dishwasher. They've all been hand washed lovingly, put away with
Okay.
care.
Oh, look at you.
And frankly, I think Etsy needs to give you some money back.
Troy, I'm going to get that taken care of for you. I'm so sorry that has become the fate of one of your Yeti cups. That bums me out. It really bums me out.
It was great. The story's pretty fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I,
okay. No, this is where he poses it as like something went terribly wrong, like with the manufacturer. But now we're going to find out they got drunk one night and just threw it up and like a clay pigeon.
Skipped it
Yeah, I
across
was
the
actually-
AstroTurf.
I put cold water in it and set it on a table and came back 5 hours later and it had blown off the pieces. So something thermally had happened along the way, but it didn't have ice cubes in it. But
That is
Anomaly.
very strange.
I just knew that you're such a good dude, you would feel bad about it, so I had to bring it up because you got to keep you down before you get too high.
I don't feel bad that you told me about it. I feel bad that you had to. And man, that sucks. Well, guys, this is going to be a really bummer of a podcast.
I was going to say, we're going to hit the intro on that note.
Yeah,
All right.
totally.
It's
All
football
right.
time, and we sold our. Oh wait, that's the old tune.
Right? New imaging.
TGIF. Wait, I was singing that at 2 times speed. I think. 'Cause that's
All right, here we go. Freaks and geeks, drinkers, thinkers, ramblers and gamblers, stoners and pet owners. Gather around. This is the Outsiders Social Club, where us misfits, miscreants, outcasts get together and ramble, palaver, prattle, and get royally intoxicated while we do so. So without further ado, let's proceed.
One for the party, baby. Puff on the road, drumming, knock back a drink. There's nobody home.
Welcome back to the Outsiders Social Club. I'm your master of ceremonies, Drinks with Ron, and I am still paying for trivia night last night. Usual rules apply. You drink if you hear a dog or a cat or a bong. The over-under for hearing dogs on the podcast is 1.5. Speaking of over-unders, Troy, what is the over-under for tonight's special episode?
Oh, Ron, we've got a special episode is right. When you have a guest in the house, you got to cater to their needs. Tonight, we're setting the over-under at 3.5 yoo-hoos.
That was good. I couldn't handle much stronger than that.
There's stories. I have stories.
Limited crew tonight. Fellas, Hashi, say hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
And Yikes Mountain is also with us. What's happening?
Hey, Ron, how are you? Happy to be here.
I am slightly hungover.
Yeah, okay.
Paying for last night. Troy, speaking of slightly hungover from last night, I'll throw it back to you. Why don't you intro the guest for tonight's episode?
Well, thanks. Yeah, we have a recurring guest, we're proud to say, coming off a major career high. You might know this person from his kind and gracious Twitter feed. You might know him from the Greg Cody Show, featuring Greg Cody as a producer. You may know him as a original music writer, Pebble Road, as well as some other things.
That's
but more importantly, you'll know him as first-time Suey winner, soon-to-be many-time Suey winner, Yeti Blanc.
Hey!
Oh, wait, I forgot. Ron's a professional and has his own sound effects, and here I am trampling all over them with.
No, it's perfect. Layered together.
That's the way we rolls here.
That's how we do it.
Was that a seal or was that a dog?
Yeah, I was like, was it a walrus in the background?
I do feel
started
bad
maybe
that
as a-
won't be isolated, honestly.
It maybe started as a dog, and then it went to more Alki Beach seal type levels of things. If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
But yeah. So whatever that was. Hold on just a second. Andrew Streeter's trying to interrupt. I am recording with the
People cooler than
Outsiders Social Club.
Doesn't he have to be like in a Twitter Spaces arguing about college football with somebody right now?
You want to bring him in?
Talk about Wazoo and
I'm just saying.
cameos are welcome.
They
Yeah.
just asked if you shouldn't you be in a Twitter Spaces arguing with someone about college football. Do you want to make a cameo appearance with us? I've noticed that sometimes when I'm doing an actual like voice text, like voice recording, I'll still sometimes say question mark, period, comma, and
Yeah.
all right,
kinda-
so I'm here.
I'm kind
Thanks,
of
sir.
amazed by
Go
you
ahead.
guys with your I've never texted to voice to text ever. I've never done this.
I'm so old, I guess, that I do that. It's just like I hate
So much faster.
in a way.
Type,
In a way. For sure. Like, because when there's a lot of background noise, it's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny when Greg always texts us. He'll voice text, and we have some nothing funny enough to share publicly, but funny enough to make me laugh always.
That's kind of how we
these
feel.
guys are used to me.
I was going to
doing
say
it.
that's how we feel about Ron. Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know you could. I didn't know you could do that into a Discord. But some of your Discord voice to Discords have been quite epic.
It's this new tech thing, but it's also at the same time it's funny that I think the older generation is more likely to do this or to do the voice text. Sorry, I'm so distracted. Let me turn my sound off. I am not being a professional. I did just send
Fine.
Andrew. a
You're on the
link,
perfect
and we'll see if
podcast
he
for
pops
that.
up.
Yeah, you're
right.
He
you're
keeps
right at
asking,
all.
who are these? He keeps asking, who are these people? And I don't have time to explain because I want to be present with you all. So no, you know what? This is actually you guys have the first dibs. He just messaged and said, "Don't tell them I don't know who they are." Oh,
Yes.
gosh, too late.
perfect.
Oh
Sorry, boss.
man. But no, this is the
Love
first interview or discussion I've had with anyone since being awarded the Suey. So
All right.
exclusive, straight for you guys. Like we haven't even done the Greg Cody show where we celebrate yet. That's tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, you guys will probably get yours dropped first, I think.
Come on,
But
Ron, chop chop.
We have it on record. We have it on record. Me saying that I was here first.
Yeah.
I was
you
the first
guys
to sign
drop
your craft.
Sundays?
Well,
Monday mornings.
Fridays. We drop Monday mornings, but we record Fridays.
Well, then so do we. It'll be a tie.
Yeah, so Monday mornings, 7 a.m. Eastern. TheGregCodyShow.com.
Oh, we will be first. We go at midnight.
Yes, you do. I notice.
Well, in all sincerity, Yeti, I listened to the Greg thing last week, and I want to say congratulations. It does mean a lot to you, and I think it's great that you're I feel like I've got to watch your public career kind of go places. It's been really cool, and I love the fact that I can be supportive in weird things. You know, whether it's the 10 cents on a SoundCloud, whether it's a thumbs up emoji, whether it's an eyeball whenever you rail on David Samson for being a dick. Whatever it is, I'm glad I can be a supportive, and I feel like I'm your number one Idaho fan, and count me in, buddy.
It's a double eyeball. So woo, woo. It's eyeballs. Balls. We're talking balls, people. Going at it as hard as they can.
President of the Idaho chapter.
No, Troy, you've been around for a while, and it's been fun. And I do say, like, the best part about winning the Suey is I can finally calm my ass down about this now. Gosh, it did become
off.
Yeah, and it's like, look, do I want to win another one? Sure, but like I can honestly say, like, it won't hurt if it doesn't happen again. You know, just want to be able to put on my resume that I'm a Suey Award winner, and don't get me wrong, it will be on my resume.
Suey's plus minus.
If I ever get back on LinkedIn, it'll be on my LinkedIn page for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I found I don't have much use for the site right now, but if I ever get back on, it'll be there. So, but it's definitely going on my resume, and I think that was the main reason I wanted to win one, just so I could completely baffle people by having Suey Award winner on my resume with no explanation.
Those are the kind of intangibles employers are looking for. Yeah.
Well, look,
Yes.
I have for years. I've had mild oddball, on my resume it says mild oddball. I'm proud of that distinction. And so yeah, because I want them to see personality. I didn't get a job solely because of this, but I did get some attention from somebody. Because my right when I moved out to Seattle, it would have been 2007. I left December 29th. I left North Carolina December 29th of 2006 and got there, the first week of January. So took my time, and snowstorms got me stranded in Tucumcari, New Mexico for a night on New Year's Eve. The Texas USC game, I was in Tucumcari, New Mexico. Or maybe that was New Year's Day, and I was driving. I was on in the middle of a 14-hour trek. But anyway, beside the point, long story. But 2006 Time Magazine's Person of the Year was you. It was all of us, because YouTube had taken the world by storm, and they had a computer and the screen was a mirror. So when you held up the magazine, it was you.
I'd forgotten I won that.
And so that was my voicemail message was, "Hi, you've reached me, one of Time Magazine's People of the Year 2006." And
nice.
As you can imagine, winning such an award, it makes me a really busy person, hard to get a hold of. But leave a message, I'll call you back or whatever. But the first company that hired me in Seattle, they said, "We heard your voice message." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. We've got someone with personality." And I was like, "Take that, Dad," because he wanted me to change it. You're never going to get a job.
I'll take you seriously.
Right. And I was like, if that's going to be a reason that someone doesn't want to hire me, I don't want to work for them anyway.
So you're not Taco Bell material with that kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, totally. The manager at Subway is like, "What the hell is a Suey? I don't care."
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeti Blanc, we've allowed someone into the room. Someone from your past is here to congratulate you on your Suey Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Andrew Streeter!
Sorry, I was late. I was busy arguing with somebody in a Twitter space.
I tried the spaces with y'all, and I got lost, so I had to give them up. But I appreciate the efforts.
Is that were you reaching out because you wanted to do a space tonight?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to bring you on so that I wouldn't be tempted to argue with people. you're a common.
Were you wanting to start one, or were you wanting to join one that was existing?
No, I wanted to start one for no reason at all.
That's what I figured. You didn't want to start one to welcome me into the Brotherhood?
Oh yeah, dude. I was gonna ask. So I'm meaning to ask you. So now you're enough, right?
I am enough. Finally, I'm finally worth something.
So now
I can't wait for my wife to understand that. But
You print something off and frame it. Like that.
Now you can finally be enough.
I can finally be enough.
Yeah, welcome. I was say these 2 Suey awards have definitely afforded me a lot of things in my life that opened so many doors.
I could go so many places, but I will not because I love you.
Would not otherwise. What do you mean?
I am not going to say.
A lot of free cocaine. That's all I can say.
To each their own. Yeah. That he would just turn around and sell because,
Well, yeah, of course.
To Tony. He'd give to Tony to flip for him. That's what. Oh gosh, but no, good to see you again, Andrew.
All the time. Look what
I was just telling you, like it's
you're
nice.
Strange.
Like oddly enough, the best part about winning is I can finally calm my ass down, and like it's like sure I'll take another one if I can win another, and I'm not going to stop trying, but it's not going to hurt. Like. And I mentioned this on the Greg Cody show. It's dumb that I care so much. It's so dumb, but this is my exposed nerve, and this was the one that like just really was like putting myself out there and would would get hammered and but not in the way that Ron does. That leaves him feeling great for the evening until the next morning, and possibly even through the next night.
Trivia night was rough.
So Andrew, let me introduce you guys. So this is Ron, Drinks with Ron. He helped start the show with Troy. Drinks with Ron. I met him. He got a Greg Cody show sticker.
Oh yeah,
and,
it's on the tapper back here now.
He shared a video they did, kind of like an early Drinks with Ron podcast, I guess, video podcast, and he's just standing there and he's talking. It was funny, and then Hashi and I met. He had me on his on the what is now called Pitfalls of Nostalgia, but it was Nostalgia Pit now. Pitfalls of Nostalgia before, but now you've got a new show, right?
Yeah, it's a musical show. It's called Below the Noise, where we interview musicians and in studio in Portland, and it's like a hybrid of Inside the Actors Studio and Tiny Desk Concert. But Andrew, I met you at Moss.
Yes, Andrew. This is Hashi. Is who the picture you sent me of a Yeti Blanc hat in the wild. That's Hashi. That's who you met.
Well, yes, sir.
And then
come full circle.
Troy is from Idaho. Squirrely Dan's older brother, and he's followed us for a good while. And then Yikes Mountain, he is from everywhere, between Minnesota and Did you live in Seattle, or is it more Bellingham? Or no, Hashi was
I lived in
Bellingham.
Seattle. I think when I met you, I don't know. I lived in Portland, and I'm back in Spokane, Washington.
Okay, yeah. So you're Spokane, yeah. but you've got Minnesota ties too, right?
I do. I did spend my formidable years and went to college in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Don't forget that time you
Yikes
lived in
is
a
actually
tent,
a fellow Low fan, Andrew. So one of the.
I think that's kind of how we connected.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the 6 Low and Lebitard fans that are out there.
It's a big loss for Minnesota.
Yeah,
with Mem. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all haven't heard Low, I absolutely love their music. It's not music for the masses, but it's just absolute beauty. And so if you enjoy beautiful things, go check them out.
Beautiful things, so touching. It's really hard for us to be sincere on this podcast, Yeti, but we're going to try because it's your night. I was going to ask you an interesting question, and feel free to not respond or be very guarded in your response. That's okay. I was very involved in church as a youngster and as a young man and all the way through college even. And I found that church music wasn't my jam. And that turned me on to all the other stuff that came through. You know, the late 80s through the middle 90s was my formative years, and I did that. I realized that your church is a little different in terms of music, but how did church plus or minus, you know, plus negative or positively impact your passion for, one, knowing music, you know, pre-kids, and two, getting into it as a performer?
So church, I think, is where I first learned that I didn't mind singing. I didn't grow up when I was a little kid. I have no memory of running around with music in my head. Now, that might have been the case. I just don't remember. I do remember but my parents would sing. My dad, you know, just naturally an ear talent. Like he couldn't read a lick of music. Even when he was in marching band, he played the baritone. And which is like a marching flugelhorn for those who don't know. I'm right on that, Andrew, right? It's like the flugelhorn for marching, or French horn for marching.
Oh, you said the flugelhorn?
The baritone is what he played.
The baritone, the euphonium.
Sousaphone?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, flugelhorn is the marching French horn, pretty much, right?
Well, it's like a trumpet. The flugelhorn is a trumpet,
right?
The mellophone is the marching French horn.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, so Dad played the baritone in the marching band, but he couldn't read the music. He just picked up on it, you know. And it's bass lines, pretty simple enough. And but my mom played piano, and
technically a euphonium.
It's the Dude Goods.
Hey.
Hey, man.
Streeter, so good to see you.
But
hey, man, good to see you too.
Don't watch the Vikings game if you're not watching. It sucks.
I just watched them score.
But mom played piano, and there's recordings of us singing together, but it was all church songs and stuff like that, stuff from what we call primary, our primary class. It's the kids' Sunday school.
Plus minus.
What I really remember on thinking about music was there was a kid at school named Tommy Lawrence, at church named Tommy Lawrence. And I thought he sang well. I really don't have any memory if he actually did, but I remember as a kid, I thought he sang well. And I noticed he smiled when he sang. So I started trying to smile when I sing. Maybe I can sing like Tommy Lawrence too. But then so I guess I learned how to sing through church. Because I didn't grow up with popular music and anything until I was around 10, whenever Madonna's Justify My Love came out, because that was getting all sorts of scandal because of how racy the video was. And I had cousins that just moved up from Georgia to North Carolina, and they were into the radio. They were my age, but they were into the radio. And, so they played that for me, and I was like, ooh, I remember seeing this song on Entertainment Tonight. Ooh, you know, and,
1990.
And so I was 10
or 90.
Yeah. And then everything just kind of exploded from there, from the popular radio perspective. And church music's interesting for me. I've never been able to get behind like the worship bands and things like that. That's never moved me in any way. But I'll sing in church. Like I'll perform, like if they want someone to sing a solo or with a couple of people in church, I have no problem doing that. Like I feel there's a mark of delineate. For me, there's a delineating line between, kind of poppy worship music and more
Fanny Crosby versus
sacred's one way. Sacred's one way to put it, but that's really subjective what someone holds sacred.
20 years ago.
Reverend, which is weird coming from me, who I love irreverence in most forms. But so for me, I don't hold anyone else to that standard, but that's just what I hold for me. And I don't, and like, I'll tell you, I'll put on some Tabernacle Choir on a Sunday. That gets me going for what I want my Sunday to be. I don't do it every week. But like if I need a little extra spiritual bump to kind of get me, you know, like if I'm teaching a lesson that Sunday or something, you know, like, yeah, I'll throw something like that on because music does move me in that way, even on the spiritual side. But for the most part, I'm a rocker man through and through. And go ahead, Andrew.
Singer first, musician second.
I was gonna say, man, because like 20-ish years ago, Yeti and I, we performed at a couple different church functions. One was a youth conference. Well, he was too old to be there, but he played at this youth conference with me and his brother.
I weasel my way into being a chaperone.
Wake Forest
hang out with Andrew and my brother.
Yeah. And then we also, the first show that my band ever played was actually his band's last show, and it was at a church building. We were in the gym.
It's a free auditorium, you know.
It really too loud, but it was a lot of fun. There's still video. I still have video footage of that. Both of us.
You do?
Yeah, I have a VHS that I have.
Oh, we got to make that happen.
We got to digitize that. That'd be fun for a lot.
Because we recorded it too, but I think those tapes are long gone.
November 9th, 2002.
Wow. Wow.
You youngsters are so cute.
I was 16. I just turned 16.
I was trying to impress Andrew's sister. Like, yeah, I invited your brother to come, play a show with us. I didn't know it was their first show, but I was just trying to be like the cool guy, and it didn't matter.
Music is generally pretty important to Mormons, especially Mormon families. Growing up, you're listening to show tunes and like drinking root beer floats, and like that's what fun is.
And you know what? It is.
It is fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's so. Generally, I think that even if not most of us are surrounded by popular music until later. Although I definitely was, because I was raised by a single mom who's had a bit of a rebellious streak.
Yeah, she corrupted you with all that John Denver.
Oh man, yeah. He had the coolest vinyl collection. I remember as a kid that when our house was getting foreclosed on, she had to sell, and she was selling them for $1 a piece. And these were pristine. She's like, well, we don't do records anymore. This is 1993, and she's selling all this vinyl at a yard sale. Worth so much money today. It's absolutely tragic. But yeah, no, I think in general it's interesting because I think a lot of church going folk sing songs, but and sing as part of their worship. But it's a very tame endeavor when you're talking about Mormon services. It tends to be a lot more reverent and what have you.
We'll move on back out to East Idaho, boys. We have all day Sunday fun day across the board with the radio stations out here. It's all tabernacle all the time. So East Idaho is where you should be, and I'm now hiring. So whatever y'all do for real life, let me know, because I got a real life too. I need friends.
I have a funny story about it. Made me think. I grew up in the Lutheran church in Minnesota, and was playing in bands in 7th and 8th grade, junior high. And the first band I was in was called Sebastian Orange, which was named, I think, after Sebastian Bach from, what band was that again?
Skid Row.
Skid Row, yes. Sebastian Bach and Orange, I don't know why. But we got hired by the local church, and it wasn't the church that I went to, but it was another Lutheran church in the area to come play tunes on a Saturday afternoon. And all we knew how to play was hair metal, Poison, all that, a good 45-minute set of Poison with maybe a Jimi Hendrix tune mixed in.
Please tell me you played Mr. Christian.
We did not play that. That would have been great. But
Christian, your time has come.
I remember getting done with that. They were not happy about it. And on the ride home, my mom was like, I don't think that was appropriate to play. And I was like, that's all our band knows how to play.
Right.
Yeah, no alternate material.
And I think my response was something to the effect of well, we didn't cover Metallica.
Look, even the Osmonds put out a couple of hard rock / minor metal songs.
Yeah, they were total bangers. But listen,
especially Marie.
I was in a punk band. It's funny, man, because there's a lot of, I think you get this in probably a lot of different, Christian sects. There's several people that they did not agree with, a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid playing, bars, sketchy bars, playing fast, aggressive musics. But Yeti came to some shows.
I did. That was comically weird. Gosh, I wish I had a picture of that. comically, like, I'm just towering over all the high school students there. And because I'm like 23 at the
he's
time.
a giant tree of a human in there with all of these, like...
And they're all just kind of doing the standing around like, yeah. And I am jumping as high as I can, swinging my shirt, not my shirt, but my jacket.
Yeah, he took his jacket off, and everyone just stopped and stared at that happening.
They're playing All My Life by Foo Fighters, and I'm just losing my mind because I can't sit still. And it
got me going. I was enjoying it.
Hey, guys, can I jump in? This is a short podcast, and you two are really tall. Have you guys gone over your height? Streeter, I'm going to say like 6'6".
I'm almost 6'5". My dad's still taller than me.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was meeting all these people at Moss. When I was meeting all these people in Miami, everyone was just like, "Oh my gosh, you're so tall! What the hell, man?"
I make fun of everyone on this podcast except myself because I'm a lot taller than
I was going to say, aren't you taller than me?
I'm 6'2". What are you?
I remember when you were completely trashed at Moss and like speaking 1 centimeter from my face, you were looking down pretty far.
that doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, sure, that's the same guy.
That was the whole weekend, man. That was your whole weekend.
Must have been somebody else.
That's Joe when he goes anywhere from
right.
6'2" to like 5'7" in any 5 seconds because of his intoxication.
Well, no, he's just always, hey,
Miami was
really
a good
loud.
guy.
To your benefit, it was really
funny,
loud.
man, because like I feel like anywhere I was, because that was a huge space, but anywhere I was, I turned around, like Joe would just like show up.
Yeah,
but
that is the thing. He was always right there.
He was everywhere.
It was like Batman.
And no respect for security.
I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
I
loved it, dude. It was
it was great meeting you. And like I saw you, but I did see you per cat like more than anybody else that night. In like it wasn't for long.
Getting back here.
Time. But yeah,
look at that tall fellow over there who falls down a lot.
Oh, so yeah.
Well, thanks, Yeti. That was the first and only real question I wanted to ask you because I've been wanting to ask you that for a very long time. Just because I think I know a little bit about how you've talked enough about how you grew up with that thing. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
I think a lot of people find music through church, and it's like whatever gets you there. If you
but singing versus music was the part that I was fascinated by.
Yeah. It's I will to. It was a girl who got me into like.
Of course it was.
Really wanting to sing. I had a girlfriend when I was in 8th grade. Don't tell mom. And because I wasn't supposed to date till I was 16. But I had one girlfriend until I was 22. And she or was it 23? Yeah, I was 22. But she was in 7th grade. I was in 8th, and she was in chorus. And so I had to sign up for high school classes. And like, we'll be together next year, or after a year, totally. I'll sign up for chorus too. So when you're in high school, when you're in 9th grade and I'm in 10th, we can be in chorus together. And that relationship lasted about 5 weeks total. And and then she left me for Jeff Slowick, who used to be my friend.
What an ass!
I know. Jeff Slowick. Funny thing is, I was talking to someone who I went to high school with his brother, and we were talking last year, and we were talking about that, and he was like, "My dad hated Jeff Slowick so bad." I'm like, "Yeah, that's right." but I still stuck with the chorus class, and I loved it, and so that's when a few years later, I started playing guitar, and a few years after that, I started learning how to write songs and stuff. So yeah. Anyway. Thank you, unrequited or broken hearts, for teaching me to want to love music, for teaching me how to Dougie.
So I got a question for the group then.
What is the question Hashi is going to ask? How long will Andrew Streeter stick around? Will we actually get around to asking special guest Yeti Blanc about his monumental Suey win? Will Ron continue his streak of pissing off our guests? Stay tuned to find out the answers to all of this and so much more on Yeti Blanc 2.2 on the Outsiders Social Club.
You're listening to the Outsiders Social Club on the Half-Ass Podcast Network. Did you know that?